Johnny didn't just love candy. He was a candy connoisseur. His fine, trained tongue could dissect the intricate flavors of nougat and caramel, citric acid and bisodium carbonate. He thought that corn syrup was the nectar of the gods. So you'll understand when his mother said to him, "Johnny, I need you to go to the store and take this money, but don't buy any candy. Got that? Not like last time when you wasted all my money. I need you to buy a liver, because you know how much your papa loves liver and onions." "All right, Mama. One liver, no candy, no problem. Got it." So Johnny took that money, and he walked on down to the grocery store. He passed his friend Jake's house. He passed the old school. He passed the graveyard where somebody had just died. But he didn't have time to think about that. He had to think about the grocery store and all the candy he wasn't going to buy. He didn't have a hard time thinking about the hard candy he wasn't going to buy because he didn't have the patience for that kind of thing anyway. But he had a really hard time thinking about not buying any gummy candies. Not even one. Well, maybe just one. As soon as he got to the grocery store, he learned that there was no bulk section. You can't just buy one gummy worm without buying a whole package of gummy worms. Well, he got this and he said, "Well, this ain't right. My mama taught me better than this. I got sweet, but I don't got salty." So he got some corn nuts because he needed some grains. And then he said, well, this ain't right. I got grains and sweet, but I don't got protein. So he grabbed a Snickers bar. And they said, well, I got sweet and salty, but I don't got sour. So he grabbed some lemon heads. Soon, he came to the checkout stand, and he had an arm full of candy. He bought it and got 13 cents change. As he was walking back home, he was about to the graveyard when he had ingested all 2 pounds of that candy. It was running around in his belly, tossing and turning, when suddenly he didn't feel so well. He had a disturbing realization. Oh yeah, I was supposed to buy a liver. Mama was gonna be so mad. If Papa finds out, I'm dead meat. And speaking of dead meat, he was once again by the graveyard. And looking over, he realized that it was old Mr. Walker who had recently been buried. And he thought, I envy that old man, buried under there with nothing to worry about. See, Mr. Walker didn't have to worry about going home to parents who were going to kill him because he was already dead. He's not going to be needing his car no more. He ain't going to be needing his house no more. Mr. Walker won't be needing his body no more. Johnny had a disturbing thought, but he realized he had to do what he had to do. So Johnny ran back to his house. He hid behind a tree and waited until his mama was no longer by the window. Then he crept around and went through the back door. He opened up the drawer and he got a butcher knife. He opened up another drawer and got some butcher paper. Then he snuck right back out into the shed where he grabbed a shovel and ran back to the graveyard. Well, it wasn't too hard because it had been freshly buried and it was only 6 feet deep. So by the time the first star came out, there he was with the coffin. He opened up that metal lid and he was scared for just a moment as he saw that stony face of Mr. Walker staring right back at him. "Mr. Walker, I hope you don't mind, but see, you're not using your liver no more, and I'm going to be in big trouble on the side, so I hope you don't mind." So Johnny, he pulled out that butcher knife, and he did what he had to do. It wasn't pretty, but he didn't want to die himself. So he got that liver, he wrapped it up in butcher paper and climbed back out. By the time all of the stars were beginning to shine, he had once again buried Mr. Walker. He ran back to the house. He went into the front door. Sure enough, his mama was waiting for him, and she did not look happy. But when he held up that liver, her eyes wide, and she said, "Johnny, I have never seen a liver so big and beautiful. Where did you get this?" In no time, she was chopping and frying. And in no time after that, Papa had came home and he was eating and smacking to, Johnny, oh, this is the best liver I have ever had. Where did you get this? But Johnny, how come you're not eating?
Oh, I don't know, Papa.
Well, in addition to the 2 pounds of candy that were swimming around in his boiling stomach, Johnny was also suffering from something we'll call mental indigestion. And it had something to do with that face of Mr. Walker staring right back. Well, his mama said, Johnny, you're really not looking too well. How about you run along upstairs and get some good sleep?
Okay, Mama.
He didn't have to be told twice. He walked up all 13 stairs to his room, where he plopped on the bed and tried to forget all about Mr. Walker. But the funny thing about trying to forget is the more you do it, the more you remember. Soon the lights had gone out. His parents had stopped talking. But he still saw that stone-cold face of Mr. Walker staring right back at him. The wind started howling. And the more he listened to the wind, the more it sounded like a voice. And the more he listened to that voice, the more he thought he heard his name. Johnny. Johnny. It started to sound so real that Johnny started talking back to it. Oh, who's there? Johnny. It's Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker? But you're dead. Johnny, I want my liver back. Mr. Walker, I don't got your liver no more. Then Johnny heard a sound that made him sit up. He thought he heard some creaking metal. He went to the front window and looked down, and sure enough, the gate was swinging in the wind. But there was no one there. Johnny, I'm at your door. Johnny went out of his bedroom. He looked down through the banister and he looked at the front door, and sure enough, it was creaking open. He listened for footsteps, but didn't hear a thing. Johnny, I'm at your stairs. Johnny, I'm on the 3rd step. Johnny, I'm on the 5th step. Well, Johnny ran back into his room. He plopped on his bed once again and covered himself with his blanket. Johnny, I'm on the 7th step. Johnny, I'm on the 9th step. Mr. Walker, you gotta believe me. I do not have your liver. Johnny, I'm on the 11th step. Johnny, I'm on the 13th step. Mr. Walker, please, I swear, nobody's got your liver. Johnny, I'm at your door. Johnny, I'm in your room. Johnny, I'm at your